All right, so we're going to leave the coal chute behind here and push a little bit further south. I'm trying to see if that had anything to do with the railway line. So just up here, so you can imagine there was a siding here. Now it's a little bit confusing with regard to the siding. When you take a look at some of the older time cards, the siding that was here was one of the largest on the line, obviously with Nipigon being one of the major stops on the rail line. But then when you take a look at it in more recent years, so there is a 1982 time card, and the siding here has shrunk considerably. So obviously its importance declined in more recent years. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is we have the remains of the water tank. I believe that what this structure is here kind of fits in with a lot of the pictures that you see. I'll take the helmet off here so you can see a little bit better. And so you can see what looks like the opening here that's been sort of concreted over. And then you can see these chunks of concrete here. So I don't know if those were the feet, the base for the tower. You can see there's some other chunks of concrete here as well. But again, if you click on that link in the description, you'll be able to see some images of the water tower in the station area here back during those early years. Okay, so just continuing to push south here. So right over here in this area here would have been where the station was at Nipigon. Unfortunately, there's no known picture of the station. Again, you can just kind of see it in the distance from some of those some of those pictures. You can see some of the leftovers here from the rail line. So here we have some mountains of rail anchors. So I don't know if anybody needs some rail anchors. And there's some spikes here. So here you can see everything from a little bit better angle. So again, you can see the rail connectors, the fish plates, or I think those are fish plates, and then the rail anchors that are over there. There's some pieces of tie that are left here, and so again, the station would have been just over here, right where these rails are. And again, kind of we'll take a look at some of these rails here. Some of these ones look very, very big compared to some of the ones that we've seen. So this one here, it's probably hard to see. These are Algoma, Canada, 115 pound. I think I see 1961 on there. Trying to see if there's any other descriptions. I saw one here when I was here last fall that kind of this is it here. Can you see that? That looks like it says 115, so I'm guessing 115 pounds. Nippon, which is Japan, 2002. And there's a plate on here. Certainly some of these rails look a lot bigger. This one is this one says Sydney, 115 pound. 1975. So again, just a real mishmash of different manufacturers and different types of rail. Again, slightly different. 115, these are all 115 pound rails. The ones that we normally see on this line are 110 pounds, so they do look slightly bigger. Again, I'm not a railway guy, so I don't know all the nuances of that. So this basically brings us to the end of this section of our hike. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coming back on a subsequent hike, and we're going to be coming in from the south, and we're going to be coming back to this spot here. And so we'll take a look at some of the things that are around in the more southern area over there. So basically there was a turning Y that was here. You can see there's the remains of telegraph pole, and there's a few other things to take a look at. Welcome back to part 2 of our exploration here at Nipigon. And so we were here a few weeks ago exploring the railway grade here. So again, we're standing on the former Canadian Northern Railway and later Canadian National Railways Dorion and then subsequently Kinghorn subdivision. So we had basically worked our way from just north of where the bridge crossings are here at Nipigon, and then right to here, right to where the station grounds were here at Nipigon. And we explored some of the stuff that you see in front of us, all of the rail anchors and the fish plates and the rails that are sitting here. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be basically working ourselves from this point here to the south a few kilometers down to a place called Stillwater Creek. So the first thing we're going to do is, so basically you can kind of see the width of the yard here. So again, Nipigon was a fairly substantial stop. It was basically halfway on the original line. So when the Canadian Northern Line, the Nipigon subdivision, and then the Canadian National Railways Dorion subdivision, Nipigon was halfway in between Jellicoe, was where those lines originated, and then Port Arthur, which is now Thunder Bay. And so as a halfway point, there was kind of a lot that was going on. So one of the first things that we're going to take a look at, and maybe I should point out before I get to that one, is if you actually click on the link in the description, you'll be able to see a Google Streetview from 2009 when the rails were still in place here, and you'll be able to see some of the yards and stuff. And so for example, just I think right here was the station board, or the station sign right here, where it basically said CN Nipigon. So what we're doing here, and I'm going to try to keep my head kind of turned this way a little bit, it is a bright sunny day. This is, I believe, the turning Y here at Nipigon, and so this kind of would be the northern arm of the Y. And so if you're not familiar with what a turning Y is, basically it resembles an inverted Y with the open ends of the Y kind of facing the tracks, right? So you can kind of imagine this kind of curving in that direction there. And then there would have been another leg, the southern leg, a little bit farther over there. And this would allow basically locomotives to turn around without the use of a roundhouse. And again, this would have been very important in a place here like at Nipigon, again, as a halfway point. So I mean, I'm not certain, but maybe they were using different locomotives for the run between Jellicoe and here, and then from here to Thunder Bay, or here to Port Arthur. And so maybe there was a need to kind of reverse the engines. So basically you can kind of see this here, and you can actually see a bunch of ties here. Look at that, they're still right here, all the ties. Look at that, all lined up. So you can basically see the extent of this Y here. So this is kind of really neat to see that they left all the ties in place. So we'll kind of follow this up a little bit. See how it's starting to curve a little bit. Piles of concrete over here. I don't know if that was any sort of remnants from the station or the station grounds. I don't know what is this the treatment plant here in Nipigon? Because there is not a particularly nice smell. Any Nipigon people can tell me what the building is just over here, the facility. So this is going to get a little tough now. You're probably getting a bunch of glare, and I try to keep the camera kind of pointed down a little bit. And there you can see the other leg of the Y coming up. And then I'll show you where the that part is. Right, and so they come together, and then this kind of continues to drive, I guess, to the east here, and then it would stop and then kind of come around. And so you can see some remnants here of the railway line on this side of the Y. All right, so you can basically see a bunch of rail connectors, so fish plates, and then there's tie plates. You can tell these are old. Look at the size of these tie plates. They're not particularly big. And then again, so that is that's the other side of the Y right here. So I'll kind of walk back a little bit, and I'll try to jump on here so you can see it a little bit better. And then again, like, you can just see all of the, right, there's a tie plate with the spike still in it. There's another one. Obviously this section is not cleared out like the other one is, but you can see how kind of pronounced it is. All right, so we're going to make our way back, and we are going to continue pushing our way to the south. There's still some stuff that we have to see here in the yard.